Assalamu alaikum. The Quran in Arabic is glorious because of the masterful use of Arabic language. We can only get the true message if we are familiar with Arabic language. Let us start today's lesson. Inshallah, today we will study ayat 229 to 231 of Surah Al-Baqarah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
الطلاق مرتان فإمساك بمعروف أو تسريح بإحسان ولا يحل لكم أن تأخذوا مما آتيتموهن شيئا إلا أن يخافا ألا يقيما حدود الله فإن خفتم ألا يقيما حدود الله فلا جناح عليهما فيما افتدت به تلك حدود الله فلا تعتدوها ومن يتعد حدود الله فأولئك هم الظالمون.
Divorcing is twice, then to retain in an honorable manner or to release with kindness. And it is not lawful for you to take anything of what you gave them unless both fear that they will not be able to keep the limits set by Allah. So if you fear that they both cannot keep the limits set by Allah, then there is no sin on them in what she ransoms in it. These are the limits set by Allah. So do not disobey them, and whoever disobeys the limits set by Allah, then those are the wrongdoers. At-talaq maratani. Divorcing is twice. Maratani means twice. Faimsakum, then you retain in an honorable way, maruf, or in taskyun, or you release with kindness. I will make this point clear over here. That twice means that you once give the talaq, then she should stay with you till she finishes the 3 menstrual period. During this period, you can retain her. When this period is over, then you have to release with kindness. And now she can marry any other person, she is free, or she can also marry to you. This can happen twice. So this is the right way of giving the talaq. That means divorce. Wala yuhillukum, and it is not lawful for you to take anything which you have given her, unless illa yakhafa, you have fear that they both cannot obey the limits set by Allah or keep the limits set by Allah. فَإِنْ خِفْتُمْ, and if you fear they cannot keep the limit set by Allah, then there is no sin. فَلَا جُنَاحَ, then there is no sin on both of you if she ransoms something, iftadat, from it, what you have given her. Tilka hududullah, these are the limits set by Allah. فَلَا تَعْتَدُوهَا, so do not disobey. The nahiya has been used, which is prohibitive law, which is used to say to prevent you from doing something. وَمَن يَتَعَدَّى, and man is the conditional particle, yata'adda, and if you disobey hududullah, these limits set by Allah, فَأُولَٰئِكَ, then you are from the wrongdoers. Marratani, this is the nominative masculine masculine dual nouns. Marrata means times, and alif noon in over here means two. In Arabic, nouns and adjective, there are three categories: singular, dual, and plural. In English and even in Urdu, there is no dual. Sound masculine dual, this is the way it is being made. When it is a nominative case, alif noon is added and the meme gets the fatha. From Muslimun, which is singular, the meme gets the fatha and alif noon is added. This makes it masculine dual. And for accusative and genitive case, ya noon is added to make it dual. And on noon, in both the cases, there is kasra. Important thing to note is that accusative ending is same like the kasra ending or genitive ending, and instead of fatha, it takes kasra. In sound feminine dual, the last letter ta is changed to letter ta, that is from muslimatun to muslimata, and alif noon is added as like the masculine, and ya noon is added for accusative and genitive case. The difference is that ta, this is the sign of feminine, so this is changed to simple ta with the fatha. Biyasan tasrihun paimsakun, that you retain, or tasrihun, or you release, biyasan, with kindness. Now over here, the important, these are the verbal nouns, and you can see the details. Imsakun and asanu is the verbal noun for form 4, and tasrihun is the verbal noun for form 2. Important thing, again I will repeat, divorce is twice. You retain it, you can retain it during the 3 menstrual period, and then if you don't retain it, then you have to release it with honor and in kindness. And in this case, the woman is free, and she can marry another person, and she can also marry you. This is form 5, and then Allah Ta'ala is saying, if you disobey, then you are among the wrongdoers. If you disobey the limits set by Allah. So you have to be very careful. The way Allah is teaching us to give talaq, or divorce, you can say, is we have to follow, because these are the limits set by Allah, and what we have given her, we cannot take it back, except that in some condition, if you fear that you cannot keep the limits, then she can ransom something. Form 5, he made himself, or he made something, undergo an action, and disobeying is a very bad action, which we should not take. Iftadat, that means it's a family singular, that means that she can ransom some of the things which you have given it to her. Otherwise, what you have given her, you should give her and don't keep anything. This is the order of Allah Ta'ala. La tadaw ha, this is form 8, imperfect verb, and Allah Ta'ala saying, if you disobey, la taduha. Actually, it's being used with prohibitive law. La tadu ha is being used with prohibitive law. La tadu means you disobey, and when la is added, so then you will translate it, you do not disobey. In form 8, oneself do something with some effort. This is form 5, and then Allah Ta'ala is saying, if you disobey, then you are among the wrongdoers. If you disobey the limits set by Allah. So you have to be very careful. The way Allah is taught us, teaching us to give talaq or divorce, you can say, is we have to follow, because these are the limits set by Allah, and what we have given her, we cannot take it back, except that in some condition, if you fear that you cannot keep the limits, then she can ransom something. Form 5, he made himself or he made something undergo an action, and disobeying is a very bad action which we should not take. Ayat 230.
فإن طلقها فلا تحل له من بعد حتى تنكح زوجا غيره فإن طلقها فلا جناح عليهما أن يتراجعا إن ظنا أن يقيما حدود الله وتلك حدود الله يبينها لقوم يعلمون.
Then if he divorces her, then she is not lawful for him thereafter, until she marries a husband other than him. Then if he divorces her, then no sin on them that they return to each other if they both believe that they will observe the limits set by Allah. These are the limits of Allah which He makes clear to the people who know. Fine. In his conditional particle, if he divorces her, is for her, then she is not lawful, not lawful for him until she marries another husband, and then in talaqa, then he divorces her. Then there is no sin if they return to each other. Yataraja, then when they return to each other, if they in zananna, if they believe in that they will observe iqima hududallah, the limits set by Allah. Tilka hududullahi, these are the limits set by Allah, bainahuma, which He makes clear. This is form 2 for the people who know. After the 2 divorces, in which there was a relaxation that she, after the full divorce, she can remarry the husband. Now, after the 3rd, she cannot remarry the husband. He has to marry to somebody else, and he divorces on his will. It should not be a contract before that after marrying you will divorce me. This will never be a nikah. This is a false nikah. So it should be a normal nikah with another person, and then if he divorces her and they both think that they can keep the limits or observe the limits of Allah, then they should make another nikah, and she can be the wife of the first husband. And then Allah Ta'ala is saying, these are the limits of Allah, which He makes clear to the people. Why He makes clear to the people? That they should observe and they should obey the limits set by Allah. And this is the Arabic word. This is a conditional juicy particle. That means it makes the next verb mazum, that is juicy particle, juicy, mood. In it means if. So in all the things, there is a condition, and then after the condition, there is a jawabu shart, that is the reply to the shart. Talaqaha yubayyinu, these are both form 2, and in form 2 it is causative or intensive, and it makes stronger or more intense form of form 1. Yataraja This is Form 6. It's a reciprocal, purely mutuality. This means the two people. Sa'ala, he asked. Form 6. Sa'ala nasu, the people asked one another. So they return to each other. Ayat 231.
وإذا طلقتم النساء فبلغن أجلهن فأمسكوهن بمعروف أو سرحوهن بمعروف ولا تمسكوهن ضرارا لتعتدوا ومن يفعل ذلك فقد ظلم نفسه ولا تتخذوا آيات الله هزوا واذكروا نعمة الله عليكم وما أنزل عليكم من الكتاب والحكمة يعظكم به واتقوا الله واعلموا أن الله بكل شيء عليم.
And when you divorce the women and they reach their term, then keep them with you in an honorable manner, or you set them free in an honorable manner. And do not keep them to hurt so that you transgress. And whoever does that, then certainly he wronged himself. And do not take verses of Quran in jest. And remember the favors of Allah on you and what has been sent down to you of the book and the wisdom by which He instructs you. And fear Allah and know that Allah is for everything all-knowing. Now, Iza is also conditional particle, shart, when you divorce the woman, فَبَلَغْنَا أَجَلَهُنَّ, and they reach their term, that is, the 3 menstrual period have completed, then you keep them, فَامْسِكُهُنَّ, in an honorable way, maruf, or sarrehunna, or you set them free in an honorable way. Now, this is something important. If this is regarding the first and second divorce, that if you divorce and she has to remain with you, and when she completes the menstrual period, now at this time or before this time you can retain your relationship, or otherwise now you set them free in an honorable way. Now this honorable way means that she is free, she can marry anybody, and she can remarry you as well. You have to make a nikah in this case. وَلَا تَمْسِكُهُنَّ, and do not keep them with you لِتَعْتَدُوا, to hurt. وَمَنْ يَفْعَلْ ذَلِكَ فَقَدْ ظَلَمَ نَفْسَهُ, so that you transgress with them. وَلَا تَتَّخِذُوا, and whoever does this, then certainly he wronged himself. Now this is a very important aspect. وَلَا تَتَّخِذُوا آيَاتِ اللَّهِ هُزُوًا, don't take the verses of Allah as in jest. That means as a joke. These are very serious things. And then Allah Ta'ala is saying, وَاسْكُرُوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ عَلَيْكُمْ, and these, remember the good things, the favors which Allah do on you. And this is a big favor, that once you make the first and the second talaq, even after the time has passed, you can remarry her. So make this favor for favor for you. وَمَا أَنزَلَ عَلَيْكُمُ الْكِتَابَ وَالْحِكْمَةَ يُعِظُكُمْ بِهِ, and He sends down the book, the kitab, and the wisdom by which He instructs you how to spend your life. Wattaqullah, this is imperative verb, fear Allah and do as He says. Wa'alamu, and you should know, this is also imperative verb, fi'l amr, in which there is an order or command. Inna Allah bi kulli shay'in alim. Inna is the word of particle of emphasis, and he's saying He knows everything. He's knowing everything. So this is an important ayat where in the first and second talaq you can keep before the third cycle completes, or you can set her free, and then you can she is free and she can marry to anybody and she can remarry you as well. But after the third one, which was discussed in the previous ayat, then you cannot keep her, or and she has to leave, and you can remarry only on a condition that she remarries another husband, and that husband on his will gives the divorce. Now when you feel that you can keep or observe the limits of Allah, then you can remarry again. Famsikuhunna and Tamsikuhunna, these are form 4. Famsikuhunna, then you keep them in an honorable way, and this Tamsikuhunna is being used with La Nahiya, La Tamsikuhunna, and do not keep them with you to hurt or to make trouble for her. Form 4 is purely your action. Tallaqtumu, this is form 2, second person. Sarrehunna, this is an imperative verb, and you set her free. This is the order from Allah after the 3 menstrual period are completed. Tatadu, this is form 8, and Allah Ta'ala is saying don't transgress by keeping them and hurting them. Tattakhizu, we have been discussing a lot, form 8, and Allah Ta'ala is saying don't take my verses as a joke. And this is a very serious ayat. And you should know that if you are not going to follow the instructions of Allah, which He has made clear for you, then you are not taking it seriously, and you are taking it as a joke. So these ayats, which are very important, every ayat is very important, by the way. These ayats, the order you have to follow. Wattaqu, this is that you follow, this is imperative verb, and you fear Allah, and you do the things as instructed by Allah, and this its active participle is muttaqi. La nahiya has been used twice. La tamsikunna, do not keep them with you, and la tattakhizu, don't take the ayat of Allah as a joke, as in jest. So very important. And la nahiya is used when you have to stop somebody from doing something. Over here, do not keep with you and hurt to hurt. And over here, don't make the ayats, don't take the ayats of Allah as a joke. It's a serious issue. Vaskuru, this is also imperative verb. And remember, what Allah has sent down is for your good. Walum, this is also imperative verb, and Allah Ta'ala is saying you should know that Allah knows everything. He's knowing everything. I want to repeat something over here, and I want to make emphasis on it, that these are the ayats of Allah which He has made clear, and we have to follow. I give you an example. If somebody gives 3 talaq at a time, it doesn't mean that he has followed the instructions of Allah properly. So that means that this should not be taken as 3, it should be taken as first, and then we should follow. I give you another example. If we are praying 2 rakats of namaz, and we do qiyam, and then we go to ruku and do 2 ruku because it is 2 rakat. And then you stand up, and then you go to the sajda, and we make 4 sajdas at a time. And then we make tayyat, and then we close our prayer. This is not the way we can hear. Allah will not accept this prayer. Allah is not going to accept this prayer. This is not the prayer you did, because we didn't follow the rules set by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam how to pray 2 rakat. So same is the case with talaq. If you don't follow the rules set by Allah to make a talaq, then it should not be accepted. So it should be very simple, that if somebody gives 3 divorces at a time, then it should be counted as 1. Inshallah, God will help us to understand His ayats and follow them properly. Ameen. Alhamdulillah, we finished our lesson today. The PDF file link is there in the description. Click on it. It will generate a request for access. Click on the request, then the message will come to me, and then I will give you the permission. The PDF file is very important. It has got a lot of information. Please read to really understand the language.